don't even know where to start from. I don't know where to start from at all. Like, honestly, I've been thinking, like, where should I start from? But before we go there, guys, I have something here with me. I have my passport and I want to open it up. Okay, okay, but before we open it, guys, you see, I don't know where to start from. Okay, so I decided to title this video moving from Nigeria to the UK, or moving to the UK from Nigeria, because I did all my process in Nigeria, like every single thing, which I'm going to talk about, because this video is just basically me giving you guys information on how I did this and how I'm able to move to the UK. So like, I did everything in Nigeria. I did the finding school, visa process, biometrics, tuberculosis test. I literally did everything in Nigeria. So basically this video is going to be extremely helpful for anybody who is trying to move from Nigeria to the UK via the student route, because that's exactly what I did. I did all my process in Nigeria and not in Dubai. In fact, I didn't do anything in Dubai. I did everything in Nigeria. So that's why the title of this video is moving from Nigeria to UK and not moving from Dubai to the UK, because at the end of the day I ended up doing everything from my own home country. So I hope I've cleared that up, and people should not be like confused and be like, oh, don't you live in Dubai? You're not supposed to move from Dubai to the UK, blah blah blah. Anyways, I just go back from TLS Ikeja. I went to pick up my passport. I already know the results, guys. I already know that it's successful because they sent me an email that my visa has been approved, successful, and blah blah. But I haven't seen the visa stamped on my passport, so this is me opening it up with you guys. I've been trying to open this. When I was inside the car, I was like, I need to tear this thing open, but I was like, chill, open it with your people, open it with your family. Guys, the struggle, this has been such an emotional roller coaster for me. Like, this journey has been crazy, and I'm going to share. You guys know I don't hold information. I share, like I always share. So I'm going to tell you everything. When it all started, I'm looking for the page. I've seen my Dubai residency already. I see. Wait, let me cover the important things. See, look at my face, guys. I feel like crying. This journey has been a very long journey. I want to start from the beginning because I feel like you guys should know, like my OG subscribers, the people that have been here with me, you guys should know these things. But in case you don't want to hear my beginning, the whole story, and you're just here for information, strictly information on how I got to this place, I'm going to leave a timestamp on the screen, so just fast forward to that part, and that part is just me talking about the process gone, like how I applied to schools, how many schools I applied for, how I got my cars, if I did interview or not, how long it took, how I'm here, how I've gotten visa, how I applied for visa, everything. So I'm gonna leave a timestamp. But if you actually want to hear my story, like this journey, because a whole lot of things have happened before I got to this point, I feel like my main subscribers, like I feel like my subscribers should be interested in this story, like how I got here, the emotional roller coaster, the journey, the struggles. I had so many struggles, which I'm going to talk about. So many things happened along the way, how we are even here in the first place, like why UK, why now, you know, all of this. I feel like my subscribers will be interested in this information before I get to the main part of me applying for schools and all that. So like I said, I'm going to leave a timestamp, so if you're interested in that, just fast forward all the way to that place. I graduated school 2020, okay, and the plan was to move to the UK immediately. 2020, that was my plan, that was our goal. When I mean I mean myself and my fiance, but back then he was my boyfriend, but now he's my fiance. So when we finished school 2020, we said that we want to go straight to the UK. So UK was our first country of choice. Then the second country of choice was Canada. So we just said if UK don't work out, we go to Canada, but it was always UK for us. And we didn't want to use the whole student route as at then, because we just finished school. Well, let me speak for myself. I just finished school. I just finished undergraduate, so I didn't want to go to school again. So I was like, okay, work. In my head I was like, I'll just find work and the work would just take me to UK, blah blah blah. It wasn't that easy. I saw an opportunity to move to Dubai and I took it, because I just felt like, okay, I will continue my process. I will continue trying to relocate to the UK from Dubai. So Dubai was never there. It was either UK or Canada. It was never Dubai. So most of the time when I do Q&A and you guys always ask me that, do you plan on staying in Dubai forever? Do you want to start your family here? Blah blah blah. I always say things like, no, Dubai is not my final bus stop. But what you guys didn't know was that Dubai was never even there. I just saw an opportunity to move to Dubai and I took it. But the main thing, like the country of my dream, has always been the United Kingdom. Always, and that's what I've always been praying for, always been working on, it was never Dubai. Now don't get me wrong, there's absolutely nothing wrong with Dubai, like absolutely nothing wrong. I mean, most of the memorable things that happened in my life happened while I was in Dubai. I started my business in Dubai. My business grew in Dubai. I got engaged in Dubai. So basically Dubai will always have my heart. At the end of the day, it just comes down to preference, what you as a human want, where you feel peace, where you feel at ease. Dubai was like an opportunity I took, and I don't regret moving to Dubai. So while we were in Dubai as at 2020, 2021, we always knew that our end goal was not to remain in Dubai. It was to move to either UK or to Canada, but UK was obviously our first choice because we just love UK. So this is where the emotional roller coaster started from. I got scammed in 2021. I was applying for Canada visa. I got scammed. The agent, and it was an agency in Dubai, and I just, guys, that period of my life was crazy because I cried throughout. We got scammed of like a huge sum of money. It wasn't like a small money, and they took the money and they didn't deliver. They didn't do anything. We didn't hear from them again. Like, they were like pure scammers. And we got scammed in Dubai, and it was so crazy. This was 2021. After that, I wanted to give up. I was like, sure, we should not just stay in this Dubai at the end of the day and just start our family here. But then again, I now tried to apply for UK, and I said, okay, let me leave Canada aside, let me focus on UK. So I applied for a UK visit visa to see my mom, and I got refused. Can you see that? You may be saying village people were probably following you, because what was all this problem? So like, it has been from one bad news to another bad news to another bad news. I literally did not have any good news when it came to relocating to the country of my dreams, which was UK, which is UK. I didn't have any good news, so I got refused. Now let's not blame it on UK, because that refusal that happened to me was actually my fault. There were certain documents that I didn't submit. It was actually my fault. So, but that's by the way. Fast forward to 2022, we're still working on it. We still wanted to leave. We still had this strong mind on leaving. Like, we didn't want to stay in Dubai at all. I was finally ready to do school. I was finally ready to do my master's in 2022, because I've gotten experience in business already. If you see so much teeth in this video, I'm sorry, it's just the excitement. 2022, we started, or rather I started the school journey. March 2022, I applied to 3 different schools. I applied to Middlesex University London, I applied to Coventry University London, and I applied to University of Sunderland. So I applied for Master of Business Administration. Obviously it was always going to be business. If you're surprised why, you already know that I can't do anything if it's not business. So Master of Business Administration, and I got an offer. But the offer I got a conditional offer. Now when they give you a conditional offer, when UK schools give you a conditional offer, it doesn't mean that you are now a student. No, you have to get an unconditional offer. Now the reason I got a conditional offer was because my certificate was not present. So I applied with my transcript, and I did not apply with my certificate. This was because my certificate was not ready. Yes, Nigerian schools, federal schools, my certificate was not ready. From 2020 to 2022, my certificate was still not ready. Now this was when the tears started to come, because my certificate was not ready and school was on strike. Right now school is still on strike. This is September 12th. I'm currently filming this September 12th. So there was no way I could get my certificate. That's how I just started panicking, because my school had already given me a deadline to submit my certificate so that they can give me an unconditional offer. See, all I know is that I don't know how God did it, but God did it, and my certificate came out. Then I paid my deposit. My deposit was 9,500 pounds. That is the highest deposit ever. You cannot even tell me anything, because why will I be paying 9,500 pounds for just deposits? This is not the full school fees. I still have another half that I'm going to pay. I shall paid 9,500 pounds, and I submitted my certificate, and all of a sudden they sent me my unconditional offer. So I already had my unconditional offer. This is Middlesex University, London. Just so you know, your girl is a London girl. I'm going to be living in London, okay? Now, the next step for me was to get my CAS. Now, UK schools, they give you what they call CAS. Now, it is your CAS letter that you use to apply for your visa, for your student visa. And that CAS letter does not take time to come out. Now, there are some schools that will interview you, and there are some schools that won't interview you. I was so jealous and angry when I discovered that there were some schools that they did not do interview for these people. And me, I did interview. Oh God, you need to see me on my interview day, or the days that led to the interview day. People do fail the interview. Like, you can fail. I know people that failed their interview. And when you fail your interview, you have to reschedule. And when you reschedule, like, there's no time. Like, you literally don't have time to be doing all these things, because you're still coming to apply for visa, and we'll get to the visa process. We'll get there. So I had my interview done, but I had to read, I had to study. Now, let me just say something. My first degree is building. I studied building technology. Yes, you might be surprised. Building business. How? My undergraduate here, I took some courses in civil engineering. I took courses in structural engineering. I took courses in architecture. So, you know, I'm a tech girl. So how is it that I moved from building engineering life? How did I move from engineering life all the way to business life? Then again, these schools, these are the things they check out, because they don't expect your first degree to be law and you want to come and do masters in medicine. You know, it doesn't just make sense. Or your first degree to be psychology, you want to come and do masters in business, you know, stuff like that. So it has to, you know, correlate. Like, it has to go hand in hand. So these were the things they asked in my interview, like how and why, do you know? But luckily for me, I've been doing business since 2019, so I was able to build my CV. I was able to build so many things. So from 2019 to 2022, that was what I used for them. Your work experience should be able to help you get the course you want. So even if you did not do business admin or undergraduate here, or even though you didn't do anything related to business, even though you were maybe in medicine, or you were in engineering, or you were in law, and you now want to come and do business for masters, what is going to give you an edge is your work experience. And I already had 4 years of business experience. I asked a lot of questions: your work experience, your business, who will take care of your business when you're in the UK studying, do you have a manager, do you have this, do you have that? Like, the questions were just coming. I was prepared. Like, I was literally prepared for the interview. At the end of the day, he approved my CAS on the spot. He was like, congratulations, you've gotten your CAS and welcome to the UK. I was screaming. That's not visa, that's just CAS. I was crying. The guy was like, stop crying. He was actually an Indian guy. He was like, stop crying. Like, I was already like halfway through the whole process, because once you've gotten your CAS, the next thing for you is just to apply for visa. If you don't get your CAS letter, you can't apply for your visa, and if you don't pass your CAS interview, you can't get your CAS. That's for schools that do the interviews. Like I said, not all schools do interviews, so you may be lucky your own school might not do the interview, but if you want to come to my own school, which is Middlesex University, you're gonna do the interview. Okay, so remember when I went to Abuja? Yes, I went to do my tuberculosis test in Abuja. Remember I told you guys that I will come back and tell you the reason for me going to Abuja, that period I went to Abuja. This is it. This was everything. Like I told you, I did this whole process in Nigeria. I didn't do anything from Dubai. So I came down, I did my tuberculosis test in Abuja, and the reason I picked Abuja was because Abuja is just chilled. It's not as stressful as Lagos centers, like where you do your tuberculosis test. And tuberculosis test is very important. It's needed. Okay, you must have done your tuberculosis test. So if you want to apply for UK visa, you must have done your tuberculosis test, and before you get dates, it takes time, so just try and do it on time. I already got my CAS letter by July. I was ready. Mind you, my school is resuming September 19th, and this is September 12th, and I'm still in Lagos. I'm still in Lagos by September 12th. I just got my visa, of course. Fast forward to the visa process, which was August, so I came back from Dubai to do everything in Nigeria. Applied August 15th, that was when I applied for the visa. So after you apply for your visa, it won't start counting till you've done your biometric. You won't get any feedback till you've done your biometrics here. So now the problem again was getting a biometrics date, guys. Tell me how I applied August 15th and I ended up getting my biometric date September 1st. That's like almost 2 weeks. My own center was Ikeja. See, Ikeja is a madhouse. Do you guys know the definition of madhouse? That's Ikeja. See, The only thing about VI is that you pay an extra £55 if you want to use VI. That's the only thing. So if you don't have that money to pay, go to Ikeja. But if you have the money to pay, don't go to Ikeja. Go and do your biometrics in VI. I entered in around 12 because my own time is 11:30. I entered in around 12. For some reason that day they were actually fast, and it was raining. It was raining that day, so it was so crazy. Under the rain, people were still there. The number of people that really want to japa is crazy because the queue was crazy. I also paid for priority. I paid for priority because my school is resuming September 19th and I just wanted to get my visa before September 19th, so I paid for priority. So now the wait was crazy, guys. This was what was bothering me, that I told you guys to pray for me. Let me just say thank you to everybody that prayed, because I was telling my fiance that I have an amazing tribe here. Like, my subscribers are just the best. Like, you guys didn't even know what it was, even ask me questions like, what is it, like, why are you telling us to pray? I just said, guys, please, I'm going through something, I'm working on something, and I don't want to get disappointed. If you guys watch that video, that's come hygiene shopping video with me, and I'm feeling down, this was it, this was what was making me down, this was it. And the reason I was scared was because it hasn't worked out for me in the past. I've been trying to move to the UK for 2 years and it hasn't worked out. So this was why I was sad. This was why I was having anxiety, because I've been refused visa before. The fact that everything I've been through, being scammed, being refused, like, I needed a good news. I needed the good news. That's why I was telling you guys that I didn't want to be disappointed. If you guys can remember, I said it, that I didn't want to be disappointed, that I don't know how I'll pick myself up. And it's true, I didn't know how I was going to pick myself up. I told you guys to pray. Guys, go back to that video and go and read the comments. The comments were just filled with prayers, like prayers upon prayers. I uploaded that video on Sunday. You guys were praying for me in the comment section. You guys didn't know why you were praying for me. You were praying for me in the comment section. How sweet. My visa came out on Tuesday after I uploaded that video and after I told you guys to pray. God just did it for me. Everybody's prayers plus my own prayer plus my mother in London prayer. My visa came out on Tuesday and I was screaming. It came out on the 6th of September. See, it's no longer Ihoma Eze, a Dubai-based YouTuber. It is now Ihoma Eze, a UK-based YouTuber. Or if you want to be more specific, you can say a London-based YouTuber. Guys, I don't know. I feel at peace. Like, I feel this ease within me. Like, I can finally say that yes, I can now be stable. Like, I can finally move on to the next stage of my life. I can finally decide to start my family. I can finally decide to make certain decisions, knowing fully well that, okay, this is where I am now at. You know, when I was still in Dubai, there were certain decisions that I couldn't make because I just knew that this is not where I'm staying at the end of the day. Like, why should I be making such decisions when I know that I'm going to stand up and pack and leave this country very soon? So there were certain things that I couldn't do. But now that we are here, now that I've gotten my visa, I can finally say that yes, I feel at peace. Like, I just know that this is it for me. Right now I'm still in Lagos, but I should be going to Dubai next week. Now the crazy thing is that, guys, I have just 1 week to sort out everything I need to sort out in Dubai. I have 1 week to sell my car in Dubai. I have 1 week to sell some things inside the house in Dubai. I have 1 week to pack. I have 1 week to just do everything because I really need to be in London. In fact, some people are already in London by now. I'm still the one who is here. I really need to be in London. But anyways, the good news is that the bottom line of everything is that I have my visa, so I could always go in first week of October. Before October 14th, I should be in London before October 14th. And yeah, so that's it. Who is excited for this new phase, for this new journey? I am so excited for this new journey. I'm excited for this new phase. I'm excited for everything. Like, I can't wait. I pray that every single person that is working on this, I pray that you get your own good news in Jesus' name. Amen. This video you're going to see is basically me packing. I'll be in Dubai already, so this is just me moving from Dubai to London, packing, settling down, you know, doing everything. And yeah, thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.